Hey guys, Claire here, and in today's video we're going to talk about all things Harry and Meghan. Recently saw photos from TMZ of Harry, Meghan, and the children enjoying some time on the beach in California. I know that most of you have seen those photos. I just personally don't feel comfortable with sharing like paparazzi photos, especially with children involved, so I won't be adding those on here. One of the things that I did chuckle at when it comes to the article that TMZ wrote was this. Meghan and Harry are at it again, riding high on life, grinning through it all, and living their best royal rebellion. TMZ got the pics of Harry and Meg's hitting up the Santa Claus beach just outside of Santa Barbara on Friday, soaking up the sun and teaching Archie how to catch some waves. 6-year-old Archie already is a little adventurer in the making, still in the early stages of surfing, taking after Dad, who's also taken up surfing in California. While little Archie was busy catching waves, Harry and Meghan kept it chill, watching from a distance and chatting with the folks on the beach. While the UK's summer fades into its usual rainy misery, Harry's clearly loving every bit of the Cali sun, proving the move to the States was the best decision ever. Exclamation mark. Now that was shady. So while the British press and royal sycophants on social media were having their meltdowns, creating stories about Harry and Meghan and Netflix, Lord knows what else, they were just simply enjoying a quiet summertime with their children. Love to see that. Now, I believe 2 of Harry's cousins have recently gotten engaged, one of the Lady Spencers and his cousin Peter Phillips. And of course, the British press and Hello magazine, which supplies a nauseating amount of like sycophantic royal coverage, are making it about Harry and Meghan. As per usual. Somebody's birthday, it's about Harry and Meghan. Charles's coronation was about Harry and Meghan. The Queen's funeral was about Harry and Meghan. They cannot help themselves. Years from now, I know there will be some serious studies involving the psychotic, obsessive nature of the British press as it relates to Harry and Meghan. Of course, they've already started writing the stories about Harry and Meghan's possible attendance. The Daily Mail saying divorcee Peter Phillips and fiancé won't be held back by royal protocol and will be able to have a full-blown wedding with Harry likely there. And of course, a picture of Harry and Meghan on the front. And Hello magazine saw that, took it a step further and ran with it, just completely bypassing using an image of Peter Phillips or his fiancé and just had a photo of Harry.
Before Meghan Sussex stepped onto the scene, I had a People magazine level interest in the royal family. That is, I watched Will and Kate's wedding the next day, all the clips, and I was so fascinated by her dress. And when they said that they were going to have kids, I was happy for them because it's like, oh, this is a young family literally trying to make do. Basically, all I knew about the royal family was from People magazine, and I trusted and believed that propaganda. Now, around that time, The Crown came out, and I started watching it. And a couple things that you'll get from The Crown is, 1, these people hate divorce, okay? The Queen was like really freaky about divorce. She did not want her sister to marry a divorced man, the love of Margaret's life, and she kept them apart because he was divorced. And then, of course, all of the horror and shame around the Charles and Diana divorce. The second thing that you really get from The Crown is how important the news is to all of these people and how petty they are about it. So they are looking at every headline every day to see what the press is saying about them. So when it was rumored that Harry was dating a divorced American woman, I was like, oh, this is really interesting, especially if they allow this to go down, considering their history with divorced American women. When Harry basically confirmed that he was dating her and was in love with her with that press release where he told the press to stop saying racist things about her, I was like, oh, I'm really interested now. And the fact that she was biracial, I thought this could only be a good thing for the royal family. It will show that they are modernizing and updating who they have always been in the past, which is colonizers. I got up early to watch that wedding because I was really interested. This is our divorced American princess, and she's gorgeous and charming. And before the wedding, things seemed really good. They had the Fab Four, and their star, all of them, was on the rise. So after the wedding, when things started to devolve, that's when I started to have an obsession about the way that this family operates. Because they were just proving the crown right, that they are petty, jealous, insecure people that couldn't handle Meghan and Harry becoming more popular than they are. That goes for Charles, Camilla, William, and Kate.
And while Harry and Meghan are enjoying some time at the beach with the kiddos, Meghan's bestie Abigail Spencer is glowing and enjoying a bottle of her As Ever Rosé in Hudson Valley, New York. It's so nice to see Meghan's friends are always so supportive. Women supporting each other. Love it. Now, of course, like we said in the last video, this week coming, another drop of the rosé will be available. They did not specify the exact date, but if you weren't able to get any, or you want to get some more, then this is something to look forward to. Also to look forward to is Meghan's birthday on Monday. A recent article from Feminegra entitled Sussex Supporters, or the Sussex Squad, raised over $1 million for global charities. Supporters of Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan have built a quiet but powerful legacy. Known as the Sussex Squad, this global community began as a digital movement defending the couple from coordinated online attacks and tabloid abuse. What many may not realize is how this collective has grown into a philanthropic force. Together, Sussex supporters have raised over $1 million for charitable causes across 6 years. The squad operates with careful vetting, ensuring that supported organizations reflect the Sussex's publicly stated values. A data review of 32 fundraising events between 2019 and 2025 shows how supporters have mobilized donations from across the world. Their efforts spanned 6 continents, with major contributions directed towards Africa, the United States, and other global initiatives. And one thing I've always maintained is that the Sussex Squad very much collectively lives up to one of the ideals of Harry and Meghan and the work that they do. You show up and do good. Service is universal. Well done. And while we're on the topic of showing up and doing good and recognizing good works, Prince Harry's Travelist is a 2025 finalist of the Global Sustainability Awards. Travelist is a finalist for the Partnership of the Year Award. Now, of course, we know that Travelist has fostered an impressive coalition of like-minded individuals and giants in the field of travel, and more specifically, sustainable travel. Big names such as Google, Booking.com, Expedia, Trip.com, TripAdvisor, just to name a few. Now, this event will be held in London this October. Good luck to Travelist.
The one thing that I know for sure that the Duchess of Sussex does not care about with her haters, she would never switch lives with you, ever. She will never take advice from you, none of that. She knows that you all are bullies, and she just does not care. She keeps her head down, keeps doing her work, building her empire that she's building, while y'all sit on the sidelines and literally hate. But what she does love about y'all is y'all spend money on her, because the one thing that y'all gonna do, y'all gonna go out and buy those products so you can say something mean about everything that she's creating, any of her items. But guess what? She is always going to make money, because that's revenue for her. So when you take your hard-earned money and spend it on somebody that you hate on, always think twice about it. They are getting the upper hand. And you know what our Duchess of Sussex does? She sits back and laughs at y'all. She wants y'all to keep ordering with every single drop, because she knows that that is money in her pocket. That's why she don't have nothing to say. That's why she keeps her head down. And that's why she ain't posted nothing on Instagram since the beginning of July. Since what? The holiday? The 4th of July, she ain't posted a thing because you know what? The girl got her head down and she's creating so y'all can go out and buy something so she can make revenue on it and she can go on holiday with Prince Harry and her 2 kids.
The royal reporters, and just, well, many members of the British press in general, are comically predictable. In one breath, they'll say all of these horrible things about Harry and Meghan and their projects and, well, everything about them, right? It's always pro-monarchy, Harry and Meghan bad, royal family good. And we know that some of them are emotionally invested in this one-sided war that they decide to fight with Harry and Meghan. But for the vast majority of them, just as a lot of these hateful Harry and Meghan content creators, it is a grift, right? In another breath, we'll always hear them admit the truth. But it's always interesting to see the bits that is picked up by the algorithms that spread around the world quite quickly, and the bits that people pretend to not hear and see.
Both here in America, abroad, international press, everything, saying they've been binned by Netflix, their popularity has plummeted and all that sort of stuff. Actually, it's coming to the end of the contract and no one actually knows what's happening, do they, Chris?
No, I mean, they signed a 5-year contract when they left the royal family, and that was to give Netflix content. Now, arguably, we're looking here at Love Meghan, which was a great success and talked about, but the contract will naturally come to an end at some point. The other content they provided, of course, was a very big talking point, which was that 6-part series about them leaving the royal family. That was hugely watched as well. So I don't think you can argue that Netflix hasn't got their money's worth out of these two. There's been an Invictus one as well, one about polo. But, you know, the contract's going to come to an end. If they're in negotiations for what happens next, well, no one's going to talk about that, are they? It's to do with Netflix's own finances. It's to do with what Harry and Meghan do or do not want to do. So they're in contract negotiations. So we wait to find out what happens next.
I mean, we do know that as ever, there will be a second series of With Love Meghan in the autumn. But Netflix have also partnered with As Ever. They're brand partners. So they do have that ongoing.
So it's financially in their interest for As Ever to be a huge success. As you were saying out in the newsroom earlier, you can't get hold of any of the products because they've all sold out. That sold out. That might be because they are, restricting the supply, as clever businesses sometimes do. But you can't argue that it's not being a great success for her at the moment.
And also the reality is, when it comes to the press and the royals, there'll always be a section of the media who will make stories out of not very much and sources that have no connection to the royal family whatsoever.
Absolutely. Oh my golly, the amount of people who are pretending to be royal commentators or experts in the royal field, and I look at them and I think, have you ever actually met a member of the royal family or not? Yeah, absolutely.
But it sells papers in it, and it does well for
I was a bit worried you were going to say like these two. Never met a member of the royal family, don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Never.
Jason Nauf, Simon Case, and now Constantine Inime, whatever. Let's talk about power and the men behind it. For years, royal watchers have focused on the public figures, so the king, the heir, the senior royals, Meghan Sussex. But behind every royal headline, there's a handler, a man paid to enforce the will of the crown and to protect the institution at all costs. Jason Nauf and Simon Case were men for Prince William, and it looks like Constantine is the man for King Charles. According to news reports, this man, Constantine, he's the executive director of Highgrove and the king's longtime aide. So he runs the estate with an iron fist, apparently, and under his leadership, gardeners and staff are saying that they were shouted at, they were micromanaged, and they were told to prioritize the king's impossible demands over basic work conditions. So one former staffer, according to the Times, said, you're disposable. If you question anything, you are out. This isn't speculation. It's from an official 2023 grievance that's been lodged by a staff member after being shouted at for simply asking that the king be made aware of staffing issues. Now compare this to the bullying accusations, the fake bullying accusations that were leveled against Meghan Sussex. Those accusations were anonymous, they were vague, and they were leaked to the press to discredit her just when their just when their interview with Oprah was about to be aired. Now, Meghan was accused of making someone cry. There were no names. There was no formal HR complaint, and there was no investigation findings that were ever published. Now, if you compare the vagueness of Meghan's accusations with the very specific evidence-based accusations that have been leveled against the king's household, you can see the difference. Constantine is named. A complaint actually exists, and multiple sources actually back the claims. But where's the outrage? Where's the media storm? Where are the headlines? Because no one wants to admit this, that the family relies on men like Constantine to do their dirty work, the emotional labor, the intimidation, the silencing of dissent. Just like Jason Nauf was the one who allegedly leaked all those stories in the press about Meghan, and he actually ran to court to give evidence against her unasked, right? Just like Simon Case helped managing he helped to manage the message around the split from when Harry and Meghan left the family. He handled the messaging, and he obviously put all the blame on them. These men are not just civil servants, they are strategists, and they are also the shields of their principals, of the people that they work for. They project loyalty to the monarch while quietly keeping staff and sometimes family members in line. So that is the inner machinery of the monarchy, the shadows behind the throne, the men in grey suits that Princess Diana warned us about. And she was right, and Meghan was right, and Harry was right. I just feel so vindicated because we're now seeing this in 4K.
Guys, it's this surrender I see. It's the British media finally throwing in the towel. They've waited, how many years now for Meghan and Harry to break up, to divorce, and finally they're coming around. What are the stages of grief that we've often heard about? From denial to finally acceptance. Well, wait a minute, I'm not trusting them, because we know how these tabloids and media, we know how they move. 1 minute they're saying this, the next minute they're back to their usual shenanigans. But I mean, come on, it's undeniable. They've waited so long. But instead of a breakup, they just keep waxing stronger and stronger. And Harry even said that he feels really sorry for them waiting for their divorce. Like they're going to wait for eternity. But I mean, when I saw this, I was like, literally dropped my water. I was drinking water and I was like, what media printed this? It's like capitulation. Is it capitulation? Is the word capitulation when you capitulate, like you give up, you throw in the towel, you're like, you cede, you're like, you win. Of course he is. Of course he is. We could have told you that, and we did tell you that for free.
Meghan, I don't really know very well, and I hope she knows what she's talking about.
Why the hell would Meghan Markle not know what she's talking about? She graduated from Northwestern with a double major. It's domestic labor, not rocket science. And that's not me making that assumption. White people apparently don't hold domestic labor in very high esteem because for most of the country's history, they had the main people doing it. It was illegal for them to learn how to read. Your issue is it doesn't look like this. See, we got to be the domestic experts. We were the ones who knew everything about running the home when we were doing it for free and literally serving at your feet. You don't think Meghan is unable to do it. Once again, it's housework. You are mad she's doing it in pretty dresses, that she owns her brand, that somebody else isn't getting all the credit and the money. See, you love putting a black woman's face on it when you could benefit from it. Nobody cooks like Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben as long as they're the face and you get all the profit. And as long as it reinforces those nasty stereotypes, because once again, it's not about educational level. It's not about who's fit to do what. It's about your false idea of superiority. Let's not forget what that brand was really called when it first started out. I hope you all are awake, particularly you women, because the areas Black women have been being challenged in lately are the areas that women are supposed to be relegated to: beauty and domesticity. But Olandria and Shelley's beauty has been challenged, as well as now the domesticity of Meghan Markle and such. Because even you trying to fulfill historically feminine roles as a Black woman is triggering, because the entire country is based on the stereotype that you are masculine. You're a harpy, you're animalistic, and above all, you exist to serve them. So if you're on the same level or above, if you are an actual scholar, millionaire, princess, whatever, it is a threat to the power structure. So you will attain a lot more hate for being great, for not being a stereotype, than you will be for being badly off. When's the last time you saw them taking the piss out of a Diamond and Silk, a Leslie Jones, a Tiffany Haddish? You don't see hate trains against those kinds of women. Even if people hate their politics, like with Diamond and Silk, people aren't spending all day, all night lambasting them online, because in people's minds all over the world, they're fulfilling what is thought of as their destiny. This is as much as anybody expected out of them. But the women who get the hate are the Michelle Obamas, the Ketanji Brown Jacksons, the Kamala Harrises, the Simone Bileses, the Serena and Venus Williams. And there's a subtle distinction, but there's a major difference. It's not that people hate that you're extraordinary, because they benefited from you being extraordinary for a long time. It was Anne Lowe, a Black woman, who designed Jackie Kennedy's wedding dress. It was a Black woman, Sarah Boone, who invented the ironing board. It was actually a Black woman, not Betsy Ross, who sewed the first flag. It's fine for you to be extraordinary as long as somebody else is getting the credit, as long as you get nothing for your work. They love your work. Your work is the best thing ever. And they'll even use your image, because they know they're saying, this is the real McCoy, also named for Elijah McCoy, a Black inventor. They're saying, without saying, this is the real thing, by putting your face on it, so they can pay themselves the profit. They get angry when you're extraordinary and they don't get a piece of the pie. When you think you can step up to the level of business owner, entrepreneur, front face of the company, your own company, not the face of theirs, all of a sudden it's, I hope she knows what she's doing. One more again, the people must not have thought it was that complicated, because they forced enslaved children to do the housework. Can't be that hard. They didn't hold it in very high regard, because they wouldn't allow them to read, write, own any property, have any money. So you can't think it's that complex a job if you won't let anybody have any aids to do it with. They couldn't use cookbooks. And yet these were the people cooking the state dinners for Washington and Jefferson, Adams, etc. So, I think we have 4 centuries of expertness underneath our belts. People are really showing out this year, and you know why. Keep an eye on them.
Martha Stewart, you jealous. I swear to God, before a lot of these people croak, they're about to release, they need this, dopamine boost. They're going to release, their racism, right? And a lot of white women think, if I connect myself to Black men, I'm not racist. If I'm not burning a cross on a Black family's front yard, I'm not racist, right? You know what I mean? Martha Stewart, oh, Snoop Dogg's my best friend. Snoop Dogg's my best friend. Talking about, I hope Meghan Markle knows what she's doing. You're a felon. When a Black woman's doing something, when a brown woman's doing something, and you're a white woman, and you're getting annoyed by it, I hope she knows what she's doing. Why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't she know what she's doing? Why would you know what you're doing? Wasn't she like a stockbroker playing house? Why would you know what you're doing, and why would she not? Do you get what I'm saying? It's ask yourself these questions before you spew your mouth as a white woman. Why am I getting annoyed at this Black woman who's cooking? Why? It's because she doesn't look like me. And she's doing, something maybe I'm not expecting. This is a racist tendency. A lot of y'all need to do that work. But many women won't do that work. They will sit there and connect themselves to black men and, oh, I'm not racist. But then they're catty, they're condescending, and they're competitive towards black women who are minding their business. I don't care how many black men you connect yourself to as a non-black woman. How you treat other black women, how you treat black women, that's how I'm determining if you're a racist or not.
Some people will literally make up lies about you to justify what they did to you because the truth would make them look bad, and accountability isn't something they're built for. And the people who believe them, who suddenly stop speaking to you without asking a single question, they were just waiting for a reason to feel that way about you. Loyalty was never in their character. And then they go even further, trying to recruit other people to side with them, because if they can get a crowd behind a lie, they can feel less guilty living in it. Some folks treat gossip like a team sport. They don't want resolution. They want attention. They want someone to blame so they don't have to face themselves. Having a real conversation, actually sitting down and talking it through, they can't handle that because that would force them to admit they were the problem. And they don't have the emotional intelligence for that kind of honesty. They create drama to stay the victim. They twist stories to stay relevant. They drag out problems because healing would mean owning their part in it. This isn't confusion. It's calculated. It's ego. It's emotional immaturity in disguise. Who said that?
And with that, we've come to the conclusion of today's video. Wherever you guys are, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Oh, and before I forget, I have a second channel that's all about relaxation. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. Talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell.